Welcome to today's deep dive. So today we're looking at some really cool sources on frontline leadership, and our mission is to break this down so simply that honestly, even a primary school student could grasp it. We're going to treat this whole thing like a grand adventure story, and you are the mentor.
I love that. I mean, it really is the perfect way to look at it. If you're a leader, you're basically the helpful mentor getting your heroes ready for a epic quest.
Right. Because nobody wants their team just sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
Like imagine watching your team burn an hour of time today, not because they're slacking off, but simply because they're stuck.
Well, it happens all the time. And
Hmm.
that's why a great leader's real job is actually super simple. You just have to help your heroes
Right.
avoid getting frustrated or bottlenecked on their daily journey.
I mean, clearing that path requires some serious preparation. Before you venture into the wild, you have to plan. Otherwise, you're just wasting time.
Right, you can't just run out the door. The guide actually uses this great analogy. Like, if you don't prep the tools, isn't it kind of like arriving at a dragon's cave and realizing, wait, we totally forgot our shields?
Oh man, yeah, that would be a complete disaster. The whole operation just stops.
Exactly. Everyone just waits. But leaders often skip planning because just jumping straight into the work gives them this false sense of productivity. So to combat that, the guide offers a really simple checklist to lock down before the shift even begins.
Okay, what's on the checklist?
You just ask, what is the mission? Who is going? When does it happen? With what tools? And crucially, what could go wrong?
And there's an actual, logical sequence for checking all those resources too, right?
Yeah, there is. It's all based on dependencies. So you check in this specific order: people, materials, equipment, information.
Okay, so people first.
Right. Like, do you actually have your crew? Then materials. Do you have the raw parts? Because if you don't have the parts, it doesn't matter if your equipment works, which is step 3.
Well, that makes total sense.
And finally, information. Do they actually have the map or the instructions to put it all together?
I love that logic. It really distills down to 3 really quick questions leaders should ask before starting work. Do we have our crew? Do we have our gear? And do we have our map?
I love how simple that is. Just taking like 5 minutes to ask those questions before you start can literally save an hour of just standing around waiting.
Okay, so we've planned the expedition. The team is on the path. They've got their gear. But how do you keep them moving smoothly without turning into like a bossy monster? Nobody likes being micromanaged.
Well, nobody likes a micromanager, right? But that thorough, upfront planning is actually what saves you from having to hover over everyone with a clipboard and a stopwatch.
Because everyone already knows what they're doing.
Exactly. Because you clearly define the map and the gear, you can now just manage with what they call a light touch. You're just offering a quick glance or maybe asking a helpful question.
Let me push back on that a little bit, though. My anxiety as a leader is that if I just step back and barely check in, mistakes are going to slip through. How do I know my team isn't just wandering totally lost in the woods?
That is a totally fair question. And that's where you rely on 3 daily habits known as the control loop. It's kind of like a thermostat in your house.
Oh, thermostat. How so?
Well, a thermostat doesn't just blast the heater all day. It monitors the room temperature against your original setting, right?
Okay.
The control loop works the exact same way. First, you measure what's actually happening. Second, you compare it to your original map. And third, you act on the gap.
Ah, got it. So you're just auto-correcting really small variances as they happen.
You've got it. If they drift slightly off pace, you make a tiny adjustment right then. You steer things back on track early while the problem is still really small, rather than waiting for a massive failure.
Catch the slip while it's small. Because if you don't, you end up with what the guide calls rework. And rework is just the frustrating penalty of having to do the exact same puzzle twice simply because it wasn't set up right the first time.
And rework is the ultimate morale killer. If we
Yeah.
connect all these concepts together, the biggest invisible villain on your team's adventure isn't the work itself, it's waiting.
Waiting for tools, waiting for answers, waiting to fix rework. It's just a total drain.
Yep. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought to mull over. If waiting is the real villain here, what is one obstacle you can secretly clear from your team's path tomorrow before they even arrive